Okay, wow, we're doing this. Welcome, everyone. My name is Adrian Harris, and I am a professional numerologist, and I'm also a relationship coach. And I've been wanting to do this podcast for a really long time. I work with my own energies. I also work with the daily energies, which are based on the deck of cards. And I've been wanting to do this forever. And I actually had an appointment that canceled on me. So I'm always looking at the breadcrumbs that possibly, universe is sending to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a little bit of research. And lo and behold, I'm here going live on YouTube for my first ever podcast. So, welcome. I hope that the sound is okay. So, yeah, if you are here joining me live, then great. And if not, then let me know on the replay. I really want to talk to you about this world of numerology. So, I want to just share a little bit of my story on how I became a numerologist and how that can help people. So, this is a really big conversation and a topic because a lot of people don't realize that numerology is actually one of the oldest forms of measuring energy. And so it was studied by Pythagoras, and Pythagoras was actually studying musical notes and the vibration of musical notes. And then he actually tied it to numbers. And so what happened to me was probably about, I'm guessing about 8 or 9 years ago. And I actually stumbled upon a numerologist within my networking group, and she hosted a workshop. And this workshop had us calculate our ruling number. Now, I was the person who was into all the self-help stuff. I was into, understanding our Myers-Briggs, and I became a Clifton Strengths coach there for a while. And I was really into self-growth because I actually grew up with a very traumatic childhood, and I sought a lot of counseling in my early 20s, and I've actually been in and out of counselors' offices for 28 years. And so when this woman calculated um, our ruling numbers, I added up the numbers of my birthday. So it's a very basic addition. So all you do is take the numbers from your birthday and you pull them all apart, and then you add them all together. So for my birthday is June 3rd of 1973. So you add the 6 plus the 3 plus the 1 plus the 9 plus the 7 plus the 3, which equals 29. And 2 plus 9 equals an 11. And an 11 is actually a very spiritual number in numerology. It is considered a master number. And she had it beside this the description, the wounded healer or the spiritual teacher. And I was just like, where I was at in my life at that moment in time. I actually owned a property services company, and I was managing rich people's homes at the time. And so when that came into my life, I was just like, this is impossible. Like, how am I even going to navigate this? And I feel like universe has literally just breadcrumbed me along the way, kind of like a little bit of a Hansel and Gretel. My intuition started to come really online, and again, I was babysitting rich people's homes, which is fine, and it was a great career, and it was a great job, and I loved what I did. But I also felt that the universe put me here for something so much more. And um, that is when we decided to sell our company back in 2019. I actually became a yoga instructor prior to that experience. And yeah, like my journey into spirituality was a little bit later in my life. I hear a lot of people who come into the world of spirituality, and you know they talk about being having these abilities from a very very young age. And it's so funny because I actually read the Celestine prophecies at the age of 22 when I was traveling to New Zealand and Australia. But at that moment in time, I had a lot of healing to do. I actually came home from my trip because I had actually been raped in a foreign country when I was 22, and that's when I booked myself in and got my self help at the age of 23. So Knowing all of this about me, I want to just come on here and I want to create this podcast because I want to help people understand and navigate life from a different lens. And so this is why I want to do this podcast is because living life without clarity is sometimes very hard because when we actually deepen our own self-awareness, this is where we can unlock higher levels of consciousness to ourselves. And really that's what spirituality is all about. And by understanding these like sacred patterns that are weaved within our birthdays, we actually gain insight to who we are and why we're here and how to move ourselves forward with purpose and alignment. And so I just felt inspired to come on and do this today. So, one of the things that I do and I teach is I am a numerologist. And so, one of the main things that I do with people is I actually do what's called their divine purpose blueprint. This is based upon your own energetic codes, and they are literally embedded into your birthday. And so for myself, I have 1 7, I have 1 1, I have two threes, a six, and a nine. And so knowing this information helps me navigate this world. So in numerology, we have this really cool thing called the energy grid. And I actually have a video on my YouTube channel here on the energy grid, and each number carries a vibration. And so, therefore, I have these numbers in my birthday that help me navigate the world. The other part that I work with is I work with the an astronumerology system actually based on the deck of cards. And this is a system that's been hidden from humanity. And it's funny because I'm actually the Ace of Spades, which is the card of the deck, and it is the card of secrets. And that's one of the reasons why I've used the Ace of Spades as my logo because I am meant to be different. I'm meant to stand out. If you actually see the ace in this deck, it's different than all the other cards. And I'm not here to play small. I'm here to help people. And this is what this podcast is going to be all about. I plan on doing solo podcasts. I plan on doing guest interviews. So, if you are a spiritual teacher or coach or an astrologer or another numerologist, an energy healer, I'm going to have all sorts of people. I've got a list of people that I want to interview. Um, and also gain their different perspective. I know that I've been on multiple podcasts myself, and I have double threes in my chart, and this is my creative expression. And so I believe that this is a great way for me to express who I am and talk to the world and share the gift that I have. And even if I come live and no one shows up, that's okay because I still have that ability to just be myself and show up and be me, which is what I want, which is I want what I want for everybody in this world is that we are all our own unique energetic code. Um, and so this is where I get to sit here and talk to you and tell you what it is that I love about my life and what I do for a living. So let's get into things. I want to talk to you a little bit about some energy shifts that we're having. So I'm recording this on March the 7th, and we're in, I would say this month, I personally like to call it a cosmic rebirth. And the reason is that we have not only our numerology, but we also have some planetary shifts that are happening. And so let's start with the numerology. So, first off, this numerology month, so this year is a 9 energy year. So, if you take the 2 plus the 2 plus the 5, that equals 9. And the 9 is all about endings, it's all about closing out cycles, it's all about taking it to the next level. And in our world of the divine timing cycle, it is the part of integration and transmutation. So I want you to think about life kind of like becoming a butterfly. We start off as a little tiny egg, as a pupae, and we go through life We grow into a caterpillar. We eat tons of food so that we can build up enough energy. So then we can turn around and build our chrysalis, crawl inside of it, transmute all of that, and then eventually break out of that chrysalis and become a beautiful butterfly. So we are in the chrysalis breaking out stage within our own personal divine timing cycle right now on in our numerology. And this is the thing that I absolutely love about what it is that I do, because I get to support midlife women who are going through major transitions in their life. That is mostly who I help, because, at this age and stage of our lives, we're all go through different things, but I really truly do help those midlife people, because something is special within our card system and the numerology system is that at age 44 and age 45 we go through a major life transition. And I know that happened to me because I was married for 20 plus some years, and unfortunately last year my relationship with my husband of 28 years ended. And it had to do, if you go back and take a look at our numerology and take a look at our birthdays, everything changed when we turned 44 and 45. So um, again, I would just want to get back to the numerology, because the 9 energy year is about closing out cycles. Even if you take a look at our Chinese energy, this is the year of the wood snake. If you take a look at our astrology, Pluto has just moved into Aquarius. We have so many big, huge planetary shifts that are happening. And so, this is where I love to layer what I do as a numerologist and also what's happening in the cosmos, because I don't think it's an all or nothing kind of thing. So this month is, we've already stepped into Venus retrograde, and we're also in this 3 energy month in our numerology. So the way that we calculate the month energy is very basic. All we do is take the month plus the year. And you need to know that anything plus 9 equals that number. So if you're wondering what kind of day it is today, all you have to do is take a look at today's energy. Um, and the way that we look at daily energy is adding the day plus the month plus the year. Okay. So we are in a 3 energy month this year of March. And the 3 is very creative, it's very expressive. And even myself, I said to someone, use your voice, because I think it's so important that we speak up and we share our expression. We are here, our souls are here to be creators. And if you don't believe that you are a soul having a human experience, then that's okay. You know what? That's your belief. But my belief is going from, being raised as an atheist and not knowing anything about religion or spirituality, and then all of a sudden it coming into my purview in the last 8 years has given me a totally different perspective on life. And so this month is really massive. Not only are we seeing it in our numerology, we're also seeing it in our astrology. And so I want to just touch base with you on that astrology piece, because I think it's so important. I am personally not an astrologer myself. I research a lot of this information before I put it out to the world. And I actually have a lot of astrologers that I follow on Instagram and on YouTube. And so if you want any information on that kind of thing, please feel free to reach out to me. But I am not an astrologer. I am a numerologist, and I'm also a relationship coach. And so people are like, how does numerology and relationships work together? So number one, my own personal numerology is based upon community and connection and collaboration. I'm an 11-2. So it is actually in my energetic blueprint for me to create relationships with people. Um, I have done so much work in that area of my life. And so that is how I take our energetic codes and I marry that with numerology, and I see people from an energetic standpoint. And so even when I left my husband, I saw the reasons why he and I ended up our marriage ended up breaking up was because that there was an avoidance of conflict, which is actually part of his energetic code. And so this is what I do when I work with people is that I understand them from a numerological standpoint and an energetic standpoint, and that's why we call it our energetic codes. Because I want you to think about energy or your personal code, your energetic code. It's kind of like a Russian doll. And so if you want to take a look at that Russian doll, Russian dolls have multiple layers to them. You know, the wooden ones that you pull apart and they've got the ones inside of them. That's kind of the way that I describe numerology is because we have these multi layers to us. And this is a way for us to be able to understand ourselves from, an energetic standpoint. So currently, we are literally sitting in Venus retrograde right now. And so Venus went retrograde at the beginning of the month. And it's here to help us reevaluate our self worth. And it might actually be uncomfortable because what's happening is that with this Venus retrograde, we're here to really take a look at our relationships, not only the relationship that we have with ourselves, but the relationships that we have with other people. And I want you to think about like planets, these planets that we, coexist with. So the planets are like characters and how they interact with each other and also the zodiac signs helps us navigate this time in our actual evolution. And so we are currently sitting with Venus retrograde, which is really governed. And the information about Venus is that it is about monies and value and love and beauty and attraction. And so Venus retrograde only goes retrograde every 18 months and it goes for 40 days and 40 nights. And so this is an internal process. This is for you to take a look at your values and reevaluate your own worth. Okay. So this is where we're having this energetic shift. And I don't want you to make any like major choices like buying a house or buying a car or something like that right now because where it's sitting is it's gone retrograde and it's sitting in Aries and it's going to end in Pisces. And so this Aries is kind of like causing us to take action at the moment. And so it's a really interesting feeling to kind of like sit with and really feel that. So our souls are constantly responding to how things are changing, and this is our job is to take action and help us move forward. And so one of the things that we're also going to be experiencing fairly soon is that we also have Mercury retrograde that's coming up. We have we're currently sitting in Pisces season up until the 20th of the month. And the Pisces season is very watery. It's very emotional. It is a water sign within our zodiac. We've got Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. I'm a Cancer moon, so I know what that is. And it's the last sign in the zodiac. And it is about compassion and empathy. And it is actually ruled by Neptune, which is represented by God of the sea. And so it is about water and spirituality and intuition and depth and creativity. And I think that this is why we're really feeling this energy right now and why so many people are wondering what the heck is happening is because we're meant to be changing. We're meant to be transmuting. We're in that sort of like, I guess you could say again, we're back into that butterfly. We're into that chrysalis and we're about to break out. So a couple of other energetic things that are happening is that when we're in Pisces, we're in this watery season and we're about to move into Aries, which is the beginning of the zodiac. And Aries is very much fire energy. It is the I am, it is the beginning. And so quite often when we go from something like water to fire, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable. And so this is where we're taking a look at many, many things. And again, we're looking at planets right now, but Mercury is going to be moving into Aries quite soon. It actually moved in on the 3rd. And we're learning how to be more assertive, and we're also learning how to set healthier boundaries. And again, I want to come back to the relationship component because that's what I am and that's what I do is that we are meant to really like, you know, come into alignment with who we are. And this is one of the things that I see in my coaching is a lot of people don't actually know who they are. And this is what my job is to help people navigate that as a numerologist and a relationship coach. So I want to talk about a couple of other big planetary things that we've got going on. Is that we are about to step into eclipse season. And on March 14th, we have a full lunar eclipse in Virgo. And so, what does this mean? It means that there is this compassion and empathy calling us. And it is about closing out a karmic chapter. And it is going to be a blood moon, and the big thing is that when we have that, we actually have a call in for the feminine energy within us. And so this is where we sometimes bring out things that have been hidden from view. This is why eclipse season is so big and why we have so many shifts, because it's almost kind of like a little bit of a wake up call. And this is why I call it like a cosmic rebirth, is because we're closing out certain cycles and then we're opening up other cycles on the other end of it. And so within this time period, we right in the middle, we're switching from Pisces season into Aries season. And yeah, I think, Aries is the sign of the warrior, and I think that it's going to be a huge. I think it's going to be a huge shift for humanity in the month of March. So I'm just looking over my notes here because I have a ton of them. What else do I want to cover? Okay, so we have this full moon eclipse happening on the 14th. What else do we have going on? The also have the other closing of the other eclipse, which is happening on the 29th. But there's a lot of things that are happening in between that 14th to the 29th. So let's talk about that. So on the 15th, Mercury goes retrograde. And so what happens when Mercury goes retrograde is that I'm a Gemini, and when the planets go backwards. So people think that planets just go in a circular motion, but what actually ends up happening is that our planets are moving forward, but they're also actually like moving backwards, but they're still moving forwards. So these are what's called our retrograde seasons. And so this is a time for us to really kind of like step into our Virgo energy. And Virgo is actually ruled by Mercury. And so it is actually kind of like these karmic lessons that we're meant to be going through. We've got this eclipse. We've got the Mercury going retrograde. We have a couple of other things happening. Is that we have the sun going conjunct with our north node. So if you don't know what a north node is it's actually a calculation within our zodiac system that helps us with our destiny points in our life. And so it's almost kind of like you're being called to what your true purpose really is. And this is one of the things that I want to just refer back to 8 years ago when I understood that my life was not supposed to be what it was, and that I was supposed to be a spiritual teacher, and that I was supposed to be the wounded healer. And so this is where me as a spiritual person, I'm here to help guide you along that. And so, yeah, I really want you to take this moment in time around the 17th, 18th, and 19th is to feel into your dreams. What are your wishes? What does your soul truly desire? Because I think that this is such a huge thing. Because on the 20th, we have the sun moves into Aries, which is literally birthing something new, birthing you, because it is the start of the zodiac. And again, it might be a little bit intense, just giving you a bit of a heads up. So, the other big major thing that we've got going on, so let's finish off the eclipse. So we've got the eclipse on the 29th, which is a new moon solar eclipse in Aries. And this works in pairs. So all eclipses work in pairs. And so what I will need you to do with this energy is I need you to put yourself first. I need you to make your needs a priority. And also there might be some new beginnings. This might be, something that you've wanted to do. Hence, I'm doing this podcast. Today is a 3 of clubs day, and it is actually the creator's card, and this energy brings creativity and expression of ideas. And so I've been wanting to do this for such a long time. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and we're just going to see how it goes. So this is where I want you to really, if you are birthing something new, I want you to just sit with it. I want you to really feel into it. One of the things that we've been taught is not to feel our feelings, and that is actually our superpower. And so I would love for you to lean into that energy and really just sit with it for just a moment, because I think there is such an amazing opportunity here for us, because we've got a couple of different things happening. We have the planet of Neptune is moving at the end of the month. And I think that this is going to be a major, major thing, because Neptune only moves every 14 months or 14 years. And this is, I think, a really big thing, because change is happening for us, not to us. And I think that we are personally going through this massive shift, because humanity needs to. Not only are we in sync with the earth, but we are also in sync with our own personal divine timing cycle. And so, with Neptune moving into a new planet, into a new sign, I think it's going to be amazing, because it's moving from Pisces into Aries, which is going to be, we've been sitting with Pisces in Neptune and Pisces for a while. And so it's felt very dreamy, very intuitive. And then all of a sudden, with Neptune moving into Aries, it is going to feel like a cosmic recharge and a reset. So everything is pointing to this, because with this 9 energy year that we are experiencing within our numerology, we're here to close out old cycles. And so how can you do that? I'm going to give you a couple of different things that you can do. And I'm also personally doing this myself, is over this next month or the next couple of weeks, is I want you to leave a little bit of space in your schedule. I actually had someone cancel on me today, and I was like, great. You know what? That gives me time to do other things. Um, this will allow you to get a different perspective and possibly pivot or change. I want you to be prepared for anything and everything. So this could be cosmic shifts. This could be Earth stuff. This could be, anything from banks to emergency kits, emergency food, all of those kinds of things. I think it's super important that that you are prepared for that. Emotionally, I think there's going to be a massive shift in our emotions, because Pisces is just sort of this really dreamy, emotional water. And then the third thing I want you to do is I need you to take time for your healing. I want you to go back and reflect old wounds. That's what this Venus retrograde is here for, is because I want you to be equipped with the process of actually like feeling those feelings. One of the things that I do is I also look at the numerology. And so we've got some really key dates that are actually happening in our numerology, and I want to bring that up to you. So currently today, we are sitting at the 7th, and today is a 1 energy day universally. And so today is a great day to start something new. So hence I started my podcast. We've got some energies in and around the 9th, which is an Ace of Spades 3 energy day. Any day that incorporates your like your 3, 6, or 9 is going to be awesome this month. And so on the 10th of March here, I'm actually launching my Alchemy of the Divine Feminine, which is a beautiful container to help women who are transitioning from, a life of maybe possible, divorce or breakup, maybe career change, maybe, empty nest syndrome. I've got a lot of women that I work with that are going through these transition periods in their time. And yeah, so I'm creating a beautiful container for them, which is a 6-month course called Alchemy of the Divine Feminine. And you can find that on my website at www.adrianharris.ca/divine feminine, or just look under courses. What else is a great day? We've actually got a lot of really great days. We also have 369 cycles this month, which is really neat. We had one yesterday. We will have one on the 12th. We'll also have one on the 21st. So take a look at not only the eclipses, we've got a full moon, we've got the eclipse, we've got the retrograde. I think a really great day is going to be actually towards the end of the month. We have the weekend of the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. I think that's going to be a major shift because we actually have a 789. We go from the diamonds energy through to the king of clubs and the queen of clubs. So I think it's going to be a really big shift. And then our last week in March is going to be really big too. I think the 29th and the 30th, especially with our eclipse and also Neptune moving on that day. I think that there is going to be some massive things that are going on in the cosmos. And so, yeah, so I'm just going to wrap up. This is my first podcast, and I want to thank you for joining Spiritual Codes and Cosmic Alignments. Um, I'm really here. I'm really excited to be on this journey with you because when we decode divine patterns of your life and align you with cosmic energy to live your highest purpose, then we can raise the collective consciousness of everyone and everything. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Adrienne Harris, and you can find me at my website, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.